So how do you prevent change management from becoming your biggest bottleneck? Well, you're embracing DevSecOps and all the principles, you're delivering small incremental value of capabilities multiple times a day, and you're finally trying to move at the pace of relevance. And by the way, if you missed our video on GitOps, check it out first. You're also following those GitOps principles where Git is a single source of truth. Your entire system is described declaratively. Your desired state is described and stored in Git. Approved changes through merge requests are applied automatically to the system using GitOps. Kubernetes software agents ensure correctness and alerts you in case of differences or drifts. If your desired state is diverging from your runtime state, the system is gonna create a closed loop system to address and fix the drifts. That's great, but how do you make sure that your insider threat risk is mitigated and that a single developer is now going to take down your entire DevSecOps platform or your production environments? That's right, change management enforcement is critical, but long gone are the days of monthly change management boards. Those kind of bottlenecks won't fly anymore. If you haven't read the amazing books of Gene Kim, The Phoenix Project, and the Unicorn Project, you must do that and you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so we're not gonna have monthly meetings to define who can do what. So now we need to think about a new concept. So let's take a look at what we do at Platform One to enable the right change management process using Git merge requests. So here, as you can see, you have a developer committing code and maybe a small incremental change into your source code repo. That's going to trigger your pipeline to do the build, push it to the container registry, and deploy it automatically to your development enclave. At the same time, in parallel, as you can see, that opens a pull request for a second person, a second set of eyes that's approved for that specific repository to go and review the code change, review the Kubernetes manifest, review the code, inspect it, and then decide yes or no to merge through manual approval, merge the code change to the bench, which then, deploy the change to production. As you can see, you can do this with 2 sets of eyes, but you could also have 3 sets of eyes, 4 sets of eyes, based on the criticality of the change and the importance of the data you're protecting and of the microservice container as well. So everything we do now is code. That means that every change we make is code too. That means that to ensure changes are controlled, you cannot have a single developer make changes and push them to your master or production branch. You must have multiple set of eyes at the very minimum to approve changes. That means effectively all your changes, whether it's a network configuration or a feature change, will go through a merge request process in your new crown jewel, your Git repository. You define how many set of eyes are required to approve a change, at minimum 1 extra like we said, depending on the criticality of the repository where the change is made. You can decide how many more you may need in some use cases. For example, in DoD, for critical programs, we'll go up to maybe 5 set of eyes, but many times we'll stick to 2 or 3. Okay, but now you need to be able to delegate those decisions down to the right people so the process does not become a nightmare by itself. You need to think who in the team can be assigned that responsibility to review the changes and approve changes for each repository. Each repository will have a different set of approvers. That means you'll be using LBAC. You'll need to assign labels to user identities so they can now approve changes for specific repository. 1 label per repository. Keep in mind, you must delegate to the right people, the people who actually understand what is going on with the project. Otherwise, there is no point. Often managers think they have the right people to approve a change, but they don't have the right understanding of the problem. So by delegating down to the lowest level, you are more likely to truly understand the impact of the change. Additionally, you must ensure that each commit of code is signed and each user and developer are using multi-factor authentication to access your source code repo. Remember, it's your crown jewel. If you don't know who is making what change, you cannot understand what's going on in your source code. Alright, so now you have labels assigned to users. Changes can be reviewed by the right people, but you also need to make sure there is some level of rotation to avoid complacency or potential insider threat partnership being created between two people. For example, if someone is approving code without doing any proper review, that defeats the point. So training is key, and each person assigned that important responsibility must take it seriously, not to let personal opinion and friendship with some development team members get in the way of proper due diligence. Too many times I've heard, oh, but he's so good, he's better than me, I couldn't possibly tell him he was wrong, and I didn't question his change, and I just approved it. That's not acceptable. There you have it. Your change management enforcement will be a critical enabler, or it will be your biggest bottleneck if you don't take it seriously and implement it the right way. Ensure your teams are trained, take this gift to them seriously, and more importantly, delegate the decisions at the right level, the closest to the people doing the daily work. Don't let egos or complacency get in the way.